Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jennifer Huber, also known as Solo Travel Girl, and since June of 2022, I've been using Mounjaro to manage my type 2 diabetes. Before I get into this week's update, week 102? Yikes. That's almost 2 years on Mounjaro. I just want to remind you that I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm just sharing my personal experience and opinion about using Mounjaro to manage my type 2 diabetes. Also, I have no relationship with the drug manufacturer, and I have no relationship with any pharmacy that is dispensing Mounjaro. And yeah, Mounjaro, you'd think after all this time I'd be able to pronounce it, that it would just roll off the tongue. I don't even know if I'm still pronouncing it right. But anyway, Mounjaro really has been a game changer in my life. What you can see is that I have lost about 60 pounds since being on the medication, but most importantly, it has really helped me control my type 2 diabetes. When I started this journey, I had an A1C of 8.2 at last check, which was the end of January of this year. My A1C was 5.6. I had high blood pressure. I was on high blood pressure medication. I no longer have high blood pressure, and I'm no longer on that medication. I had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and that has since been reversed since being on this journey. High cholesterol, I am on a statin still, and my cholesterol numbers are high for a diabetic. They're not necessarily high for someone who's not diabetic, but my numbers look great. All right, so as I mentioned, this is week 102 on Mounjaro and week 42 at the 7.5 milligram dose. Basically, my update is going to be brief, and then I'm probably going to be a little bit lengthy on this week's topic, which doesn't necessarily tie into Mounjaro, but it ties into just overall well-being and the benefits that I get out of volunteering. But anyway, yeah, I lost 3 pounds this week. I had my injection on Saturday. I did push it back one day. I should have done it on Friday, but I pushed it back to one day because now I'm getting paranoid because it's time to refill my prescription. I'm getting paranoid as to whether I'm going to be able to get my prescription in a timely manner. I do have a box left, but I'm just being extra cautious. So anyway, I did have an injection yesterday, and I did feel nauseous last night and a little bit this morning. So that probably contributed to losing 3 pounds this week to 136 pounds. Exercise, it was a lot of walking the dog twice a day. And then I also did a lot of volunteering. There were some days I had 10 to 12,000 steps, which for you all, that's probably normal, but for me, that's actually a lot of steps. Glucose, I don't even think I think I did one reading and it was less than 100 or so, but I was not consistent. But now that I have some strips that I know are working, I will get back on the glucose blood draw check bandwagon in the morning. So I'll have something to report for next week. And nutrition, I'm just being mindful. I made some yogurt last night. Putting that together, it's peach season, not necessarily peaches growing in Florida, but I found some peaches and just eating seasonal fruit, watermelon, pineapple with that as well. So that's it for this week's Mounjaro update. If you want to stick around and hear the benefits of volunteering, if you can see my shirt, and sorry, I have my laptop here, just with my notes, so making sure I don't forget anything, but I don't know if you can see my shirt, but I donated. Here we go. It says rolling. Let's see. Rolling the Big Red Bus. So if you're from Southwest Florida, you've probably heard of One Blood. And that's where I donate platelets. And it's kind of twofold. Let me get this. All right, I am back. Yeah, so I donated platelets yesterday. I have to be close to 5 gallons with my donations. I'm B positive blood type, and I do have very thick platelets, I guess you can say. I have a high platelet count. So it's beneficial for two parties. Well, I guess for parties, it's beneficial for me because when I donate platelets, that helps flush my body out of platelets to lower my level, but also with each platelet donation, at least 3 people who are going through cancer are benefiting from receiving those platelets. So that's kind of cool that at least 3 people are benefiting from it. And when I donate platelets, for me, that's like my day going to the spa or morning going to the spa, because it's a time where I could just kind of veg out for 2.5 hours. I watch Netflix. I don't have Netflix at home, so it's an opportunity for me to catch up on any movies or TV shows. I'm wrapped up in a blanket. I'm on a heating pad, and I'm just all really cozy and everything. When I'm done, they give me a parting gift, but also I get a little snack and a beverage, and I just think that's all fun. And then I also get a health update. I get my cholesterol number, they do my blood pressure, my iron count, and all that. So again, for me, it's like going to the spa. The only annoying part is squeezing that, it's not a ball, but whatever, the bulb, I guess. That's the only annoying part, that I need to keep doing that. But anyway, that's what I did yesterday, and that's why I wanted to talk about the importance, or why volunteering is important to me. And I think volunteering is definitely good for my health. So because this series, I guess you can say, my Mounjaro journey, is all about, it's about health and improving my health. And Mounjaro definitely has been a great tool in helping me finally get on the right bandwagon and the right path for helping me be a better version of myself. So here are 7 reasons as to why volunteering is good for my mental health and physical health as well. So, first off, it gives me purpose. It lets me be a productive member of my community, and that community is, by my definition, is either a geographic community or a community with like-minded individuals. It's given me purpose. I hear a lot of people who live alone, or they're single and that, and they're kind of depressed, and they just think it's the end of the world that they're alone or something. But man, when you get out and volunteer, you are definitely not alone. And I don't know, not that I'm necessarily depressed or something, but it's just a feel-good feeling of volunteering. It lets me use my maternal gene. Since I didn't have any kids, yes, I have my pets, but volunteering lets me use that maternal gene that I believe all women have, whether they have children or not. And it lets me be maternal not only to people I am volunteering for, but also the volunteers that I help recruit. I'm fortunate in my job that volunteering is actually part of my job, and that I have to find volunteer opportunities and get people to do that and get employees to do that. And it's just so heartwarming getting them there and just hearing the feedback that they have and how much they enjoy it. And yeah, I think that's my maternal gene coming out. I'm an introvert, and since the pandemic, I have become quite the homebody. And before the pandemic, I traveled a lot. I went overseas a lot. I haven't taken an international trip since 2019. And I'm a little nervous about that. I don't know why. I'm not afraid of the pandemic or something. It's just that I've become this homebody. And volunteering gets me out. It pushes my boundaries a little bit. And as we age, it's so important to have a good, solid social network. Since my immediate family, my siblings, my parents are many states away. I'm in Florida, they're in New York. My closest relative is an uncle about an hour away, and a cousin. I have other relatives throughout the state of Florida, but basically I really need to rely on friends and colleagues in my network here. And as I mentioned, as we age, it's more important to have a strong social network. So through volunteering, I can develop a social network. Also, business networking. I'm still in the workforce, and I'm going to be in the workforce for the foreseeable future. But when I volunteer, when it's either volunteering with people that I might come across in my day-to-day job, or it might be volunteering for a cause that I might meet someone down the road in a business setting, in a professional setting, and then perhaps they have an interest in that organization that I volunteered in. So it's finding a common tie and a common bond. And I find the more I do, the more that I am able to build a connection with someone else, so to say, and volunteering is definitely a way to do that. I did work on something a couple weeks ago where I work with different business leaders, and it was just a fun opportunity and an opportunity to learn something else about them that I didn't know, and just kind of strengthen that bond as well. Volunteering gets me moving. Some of the volunteer activities that I do are serving on boards, and there's not a lot of physical activity with that. But, well, I guess I take that back because there might be events. There used to be like a sunset celebration for one of the boards I was on, and I would have to be a bartender, and that involved running around. I'm on a board where we are hosting a celebrity softball game, and I know that's going to take some helping out and a lot of running around in that. But also there's different volunteer opportunities that I've participated in, like beach cleanups or being in a food pantry or dispensing food from a food pantry, and that's a lot of physical labor. So that's a good opportunity to mix up the exercise and get me out of the house as well, especially if it's on a Saturday morning or something. It's also, I call this reassurance. I don't know if reassurance is the proper term, but I don't volunteer because I want people to say, hey, that's great that you're doing that. However, organizations that you volunteer with, they do thank you, and they do recognize what you're doing. And recently I've been recognized for different volunteering that I have done. I received an award a few months ago from one organization, and I've been nominated for another one just for my volunteering efforts and helping my communities. So it's just a good reassurance that, yeah, you're on the right path at doing something. Also, in number 7, this is the final one, is that volunteering has led to some pretty cool opportunities that I probably would never have had if I wasn't volunteering with specific organizations. I've been involved with a speakers bureau, and I have met world leaders, including our own leaders, past presidents of other countries, and just all sorts of very interesting people through a speakers bureau, and getting to hear all sorts of people that I probably wouldn't have done. At the Wildlife Center, I got to see some pretty cool stuff with the animals, and just all sorts of different opportunities that you just never know what volunteering will lead you to do. So those are the 7 reasons why I volunteer, and I think all that leads to a better and healthier version of myself, especially as I'm aging. You know, I'm thinking I'm approaching 2 years now on Mounjaro, and I remember thinking back a year ago, which kind of feels like it was last month or so. I thought perhaps I was going to I wasn't sure where I was going to take this channel. I'm just checking the time here. I wasn't sure where I was going to go, whether I was going to continue on this journey of documenting my journey on Mounjaro, and I will still be doing that. I had mentioned before that I want to start focusing on pre-retirement, because technically I'm in pre-retirement now. As I've mentioned a couple times before, I am going to stay in the workforce for the foreseeable future. However, I just need to prepare myself for retirement, and I want to share that experience with you. So part of that is just being a healthier, or the healthiest person that I can be, and Mounjaro has definitely got me there, and I hope Mounjaro is with me every step of this journey that lies ahead. I don't know if that's going to happen, but right now I'm taking it, I guess you can say month by month, or every 3 months I'm taking it. So yeah, so I am thinking about what am I going to Gus for the 2-year my Mounjaro anniversary. So I have an idea about that, and I'll work out as to what I'll be doing as I begin my 3rd year on Mounjaro. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I do want to remind you that if you are on Mounjaro, please don't compare my journey to your journey, and don't compare your journey to anyone else's, because all of our journeys are going to look a little bit different. Mounjaro isn't necessarily for everyone, or maybe you're on zepbound and it's not necessarily a medication for everyone, or heck, you might be having more success than I am, because I know a lot of you are, and I am so proud of you, because that is so awesome. So anyway, thank you so much for watching and following along on this very interesting ride. So as I like to remind you, not only be kind to others this week, please be kind to yourself. Catch you next week. Bye.